All right, we are live with Gail Alofsin, my dear, dear friend. I'm so excited she's with me because she's usually on the other end doing her beautiful radio show and interviewing me several times, which I'm so grateful for, but I just love Gail so much. Her energy is infectious. But let me read the bio about Gail, and then we're going to dive into a really great conversation. So Gail Alofsin is a national keynote speaker, workshop leader, author, adjunct professor, career coach, radio show host, and business development executive. She's also a mentor to me. She's probably younger than I am, but she's my mentor. Anyway, locally here in Newport, Gail serves as the Director of Corporate Partnership for the Newport International Boat Show, a division of Newport Restaurant Group. In this role, Gail is responsible for procuring corporate sponsors for the show, in addition to collaborating with her clients to create experiential and social marketing programs that yield successful results, amplifying corporate brand presence and enhancing employee engagement. And even forget, I just want to say she is the best co-collaborator I've ever met. I just love the way we'll talk about that. She's produced and worked on over 2,000 events ranging from concerts, festivals, corporate meetings, weddings, to the ESPN Extreme Games. Gail serves on several nonprofit boards focused on education, hunger, health, and business. Gail's book, called Your Someday Is Now, What Are You Waiting For? Now in its printing, has raised over $46,000 for nonprofit organizations. So you'll get to hear more. I'll put Gail's contact information in the post below. But welcome, Gail.
Welcome. It's always good to see you. And this is like twice in a month.
I know, it's so fun. I just was on your radio show and I said, hey, you got to come on my little Facebook Lives here for my Born to Rise. So as we know, Born to Rise is really about bringing women's voices into history, right? Because we've heard from men for years and years and years, and that's okay. But we've been one-sided, right? We need to hear from more women. And you're one of the women I would love to hear from. You inspire me all the time, just because I'm an artist. You're a wonderful businesswoman and creator. And so I love how we can always talk and figure things out. But I just want to—
I would not discount your business prowess at all. That's for, and I'm an artist as well, a different kind of artist, but your business prowess is excellent. So don't discount it.
I want to dive right in. What makes you tick? What are your passions? What makes you tick?
Life makes me tick. Life makes me tick. I spring up every morning. My husband's like, could you bring it down a notch? But I'm so psyched to wake up, because whether it's going to be, hopefully it's going to be a great day. Not all days are great days, but I just wake up appreciative. Don't you?
Yes.
Like, we can see our hands work and our legs work. And you might be like, oh, does she really mean this? Yes, I do. I wake up and I'm really, really happy. But when you say what makes you tick, I absolutely love my career with Newport Restaurant Group, Newport International Boat Show. It's been over 30 years and all kinds of iterations. Kim, remember our concerts? 150 concerts.
I know, so good. I miss.
So in music so unifying. Weddings, I produced 89 weddings. That's 88 too many. But producing 150 concerts is 150 too few. So it's just like, life's so exciting at my full-time core job, but then being able to have your own company. I mean, our company was so great because I've had the side gig of speaking, which is not a side gig anymore. It's an enterprise. It has legs of its own, but I've had that for 20 years because our company was always a believer in do other things too. It's going to broaden our reach, broaden the horizon, and teaching at the university. I wake up and I just see the possibility in life and everything that we can do.
Yeah. And that's not, that's not common sometimes, because I think as humans, we instinctively, or as a survival instinct, we notice negativity first. Like, it's sort of the go-to, like almost as a protective survival mechanism, right? To notice that, oh my God, there might be a threat. But you seem to be the opposite of that. Are there tools, or do you think you just were naturally born this way?
My mom said I came out of the womb so psyched about life and full of life. But I think the tool was, because everyone's normal when they're growing up, and you complain about the pimple on your face. Now I like the pimples. Yeah. I'm like, come bring it on, bring it on. Makes you feel young. But you complain about stupid things. My boyfriend broke up with me in 8th grade when you were going out. You go out for 2 days. You don't even go to the movies. You're just going out. I don't know if kids do that anymore. My best friend has a new best friend. I didn't get a great grade. Like, all this silly stuff that doesn't matter later. And It was when I was 19 and accompanied my dad on his second trip to Haiti. And today's show isn't about talking about the Haitian Health Foundation, but from that one trip where my dad had ended up meeting the Sisters of Charity, Mother Teresa's sisters, and they asked him to build a clinic in Jeremy, Haiti, and his name's Jeremiah. From that one trip of seeing people and pigs competing at 5 in the morning over banana peels, like a little bit of banana left. And these pigs are the size of my desk here. These are not like little cute pigs. Seeing that site when my dad and I were out jogging one morning just changed my whole life. And I knew I was going to help people, and he was already helping so many people. We grew up like that. But I wanted to definitely make a difference helping in Haiti, helping in the US. And again, to use that word amplifying, but just amplifying what we can do with what we have. And I didn't have money back then. Like, I was 19 years old, but I knew I could go back to Tufts and teach a course. I taught a really popular course called Ever Compete with a Pig, Making It in the Third World. And well, I had a professor helping me. Everything you taught there, you had another professor, because what did I know about making it in the third world after a week in Haiti? Give me a break. So you go down there, and like, my dad has started micro businesses for women, goat projects, orphanages. He's an orthodontist, dental clinics, but a lot of it is championing women and taking women and giving them a career there. There's 200 staff comprised of men and women that are they're helping their people every day, nurses, doctors, health technicians. So then bringing that to the US and joining nonprofit boards here. And I have to be really honest, I'm not always the best board member. I can't make every meeting, but my heart is there, and I'm thinking about it all the time, and connections and bringing relationships. You can't focus on what your weaknesses are. You have to focus on what strengths can you bring. Was that a long answer to a short question?
No, because I think it's so interesting and fascinating, because I think so much of our conditioning, and you're saying that you saw the model of compassion and empathy in action, and from a man, which is wonderful, because I think it's sort of been stereotyped that women are the compassionate ones. They're the ones who help and serve, but there are extraordinary men doing that kind of work, and they're not, they're not alone in the desire. Like, I think there are many people who want to help and serve, but if it's modeled for you, then, you're saying like, oh, it was only 1 week in Haiti, but you'd seen it in action through your father, and it was sort of like became who you were, right? I mean, you can't.
Well, the 1 week in Haiti became, I don't know how many decades is it now, of not just a week in Haiti, but helping all around. And I have to say, my mom backed up my dad. Yeah. Like my mother, who's a nurse. He's the orthodontist, she's the nurse. So it's not just, but you go to a week in Haiti for your soul. It's the work you do when you come back. Yes. And I do have one other story about a woman there, because I have never told this story. We have a Save a Family program, $30 a month, and the family is housed, clothed, fed. It cost us more than that, but at least it's a token like that people give. I have a few families, and one of them, I remember visiting with her when I was down there, and she told a terrible story about her. She brought me down to see her little hut that she lived in. And we have a program too that we build homes. We ended up building her a home, a couple of $1,000s, and you can build a home. But she was showing me the mattress, the one great big mattress. It was a double mattress, but she slept on this with her brother. And she's like, we're 18 and 19 now. I really don't think we should be sleeping on it. And the incontinent grandmother.
Wow.
The mattress was all urine. And she said, Gail, look, and inside the mattresses were spiders and bugs and awful. And I said, let's go get beds right now. That's only one. It's only one. But I went back, I was being strong there, but I went up to the clinic, and I just burst into tears. My dad's like, you got to do something about it. You can't sit here and cry. You have to keep doing something, but go back and bring that passion, sell more families, some houses, speak more. And that's itself. And that's when one of the things is when I wrote the book. I mean, it's only $46,000 that have helped nonprofits, but $46,000 is better than zero.
Well, and it's all relative, right? I mean, $46,000 can go a long way in Haiti, where here people might turn their nose up at it, if you will. But so let's talk about your book.
Yeah.
What Your Someday Is Now? Like, what does that mean for you, and why that title? Like, I mean, you see all this stuff happening in Haiti, and your dad's saying, go do something about it. I'm guessing that has something to do with the theme of the book, but.
Oh my gosh. And he's like, you don't talk, don't be a big talker, go help. And like I said, I love helping in the US. I love helping here in Newport. I love working and helping with nonprofits. So do you. We all do. But you asked at the beginning, what makes you tick? And again, I'm passionate about life. I'm passionate about teaching, learning, traveling, walking. I just love these things that are so simple in life. And I wrote the book for Sam. It's called Your Someday Is Now, What Are You Waiting For?
Sam is-
Because Sam is my son, our son. I didn't have him alone. I had help there with my husband, John. But Sam is 26 now. And when he was 12, I said, Sam, you're probably never going to take my class at the university, which he did. He took my 1 week class twice, which was great. But I said, so I'm going to write a book with all these life lessons. And in addition to my thoughts, I posted on Facebook one post. Does anyone have any ideas on communication, leadership, time management, loving your life? And I had over 100 people reply. So it stalled the book for another year, because in the back of every chapter is the best part of the book. It's all the advice from people who responded, from our clients from Southwest Airlines to my college roommate who never works on airplanes. I always work on airplanes. She's like, I never do. What if it's my last hours? So to Mark Hellendrum from Narragansett Beer, he's the opening quote with, he does a 20-minute power nap every single day and wakes up ready to kick some ASS.
I love it.
It's just fun. So there's all career advice from other people that I can share with Sam. And then just my own advice as well. It's wonderful. So it's $25. It's raised $46,000. I did have one big sale on that. I remember after speaking at a conference, a man came up, he had a check folded. And he said, I can't stay. He said, I can't stay for Q&A. Like he interrupted the whole thing, but I wanted you to have this. $2,000.
Yeah, right.
$2,000 for a book. I'd say that's a good payday. And he had written that check out to a charity.
That's the infectious energy that I think you have, Gail, is that you operate from the heart. And I think that what I would love for our listeners to really take away from this is that we really need to trust that more and more and more, to operate from a place of what really speaks to us, right? That you love life, you love collaborating, you like sharing, your wisdom as well as other people's wisdom, because you see the value in that interconnectedness that we all have with one another, really. And that's where power comes from, is this collaborative, but also your individual efforts. And I think when I read that Your Someday Is Now, I feel like it's really asking you to step up in that calling, like do the things that move you, because there's no time like now.
No, and we postpone our lives. I want to shake people and say, we don't know if we have tomorrow. We don't know. So time is our most precious asset. Everyone knows that. And when we give our time, we might be a listening ear. We may be volunteering as an employee. This is a gift that we're giving others. So the same way back, you know how some people listen to you? You're like the best listener, but some people listen and go, uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. And they're not listening at all. Bless and release those people. They haven't learned about emotional intelligence yet. Because when you really sit and listen to people, you save time, you learn things. And there's an adage, if you're the smartest person in the room, leave the room. My thing is sit there and learn from everyone else. That's who the smartest person in the room is. The person who's listening to everyone else and garnering some great knowledge and sharing a little here and there, but really letting other people shine. And you and I both love people. We do. Our default is trust. We trust first, question later.
Yes. And trust is a big one, because many people have been harmed by other people, and it can break that trust and that faith in the human race sometimes. But we have to also remember that there are billions of people on the planet, and one or two people, or however many that may have harmed you, find another group of people, right? Find your tribe, find your friends that you can trust, because there are some amazingly beautiful people. And the people that probably harmed you are probably suffering extremely in some way as well. And we can hold the space for them, but we don't need to be in that bubble. We don't need to be there if it's not something we can manage, right? And so it's important to recognize that. But in saying that, like, what do you think? You do a lot of things. You go from teaching to speaking to your job to being a mother to being a wife. and a friend and a walker and all. What is the thing that you think gives you that much energy? Like, how do you balance all of the things and jump from one thing to the next without feeling sort of, do you have little strategies like a notebook, or you pause in between, or what are some of the things you might do to keep yourself grounded?
I love that. I love that question. One of the biggest things is my sister is a doctor, and we walk every morning, every single morning. She's in Connecticut, I'm in Rhode Island, so we walk by phone.
Oh,
And this started, I don't know, over a dozen years ago, 'cause she didn't like that I was only exercising 3 days a week. And she's like, I don't care, you can at least go. She's RX, fitness person, everything else. So TRX, whatever that stuff is. While she's an orthodontist, she's doing that. And walking, starting the day with exercise, getting a really good night's sleep. Do you get a good night's sleep? Yeah, I love a really, really good night's sleep. Brenda Brock's Pharmaesthetics, lavender lotion on your face, and you knock out in 10 minutes.
wow.
So that's a good secret right there. And then magnesium. So those two things. And I don't like really drink a lot. I might drink on the weekends because I found that alcohol was keeping me up.
Yeah.
So I like, why do it? It wasn't worth it. Drinking lots of water, but surrounding myself with my sister in the morning. First it's Jennifer and then Marilyn. And then trying to see my brother when I can. He's all the way in Tiverton and he's so busy, but anytime I see my brother, it makes me so happy. He's raising his 5 kids. He's got a busy practice and he has a great practice. It's anti-aging sexual wellness. He's left being an OBGYN and he's doing this and he's fascinating and he cares for people so much. My sister Marilyn runs Haitian Health Foundation. I know I'm telling you so much, but it's probably my family fuels me the most, seeing my parents every single weekend. Who has parents at my age?
Yeah,
Not a lot of people.
fortunately do.
Yeah, so look at us. That's called bless yourself, and be grateful for that right there. That right there is bless yourself. So I think it's healthy habits in a way. Believe me, I've got my little box of chocolates here, and there's a pizza party at lunch today for our interns that they don't know about yet. I'm gonna go to Food Love Market and grab some pizza. But it's, I do think healthy living and surrounding yourself with positivity the best you can. You can't bless and release everyone in your life. I have a whole chapter in here on how to bless and release people, but really surrounding yourself best you can with positive people when you can.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I think that's beautiful. I think we need to remember that we have all these beautiful people in our lives that love us. And even when we're feeling like a little unlovable or like they're having a moment, there's this underlying open space of love. And it's something that I have to remind myself of also, because I have children that live very far away. And I get sort of that I don't get to see them all the time. But my practice, so that I don't get so sad missing them so much, is to just remember how happy they are, to love them, say, I'm still a part of them because, you know, my husband and I raised them and they have us in them and their foundation is there of family and they're happy and thriving. And that's what, you know, keeps me from getting low missing them, but also open and loving around seeing them. And I know that you do the same for all of your clients, your people you speak to. Your heart is just bursting, Gail. I just love that about you.
Well, your heart is bursting, and I have an idea about seeing your kids. You've got to identify, and you can do this. You got to carve out 10 minutes 3 times a week. You've got to identify speaking opportunities in their cities.
Oh yes, I work on that.
Get to their cities or have them fly in and meet you halfway around the country. Because that's how I keep in touch with a lot of friends. Anytime I'm in a different city, I reach out, hey, I'm going to be in LA. I'm going to be in San Diego. I'm going to be in Austin. And staying in touch with people. And you're going to do that same thing. You're going to will it. And those speaking engagements are going to come.
Manifest. I'm
manifesting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you as a mom, like your story, your book Finding, I want to give a plug for that for anyone who hasn't read it. KimFuller.com. Is that how they pick that up?
No, I go to the KimFullerPhotography.com and my book's there on Amazon. It's on Amazon.
But I remember, I'm telling the story that we were both at ARIA, Association of Rhode Island Independent Authors, and you had just brought your book out. Mine was out a few years, maybe 1, I don't even know. And we're there and I buy your book to be polite. You want to give it to me. And I'm like, no, we'll trade then, whatever we did. But I go back to my booth and I'm like, I'm not going to read this book. I'm not going to have time to read this book. There's 20 books by the side of my bed, maybe more. And then I just pick it up because it was slow. The conference was slow. So I'm looking at it. And then people start coming to my booth and I'm ignoring them because your book pulled me right in. really pulled me right in. And it's probably one of two books in my whole life that I didn't want it to end. And I do want a sequel. I will read it again because as I'm reading, I would wake up at 5 a.m. to read it because I didn't want to get rid of the walk with Jennifer at 5:45, 6. So I'd get up at 5 to read a little bit of your book every day. And then the last few chapters, I'm reading just 3 pages.
Yeah.
Just another 3 pages because I don't want it to end. It's so good. And your story of Kydell and how you both changed each other's life. It's not just about you changing Kydell's life and instilling trust and love,
Yes.
but how he changed your life and how remarkable he is. He's
Well,
remarkable.
It reminds me, like, you know, I think we all have these people or moments of transformation in our lives, right? Where you went to Haiti and all of a sudden everything just made sense. Like, it's like you build up to all these things and you have experiences that all are happening, but then there's some moment where it all comes together and there's this like, aha, like, oh, I've been almost building up to this my whole life and getting ready for this pivotal time, right? That's where I think I get really fascinated by stories. And you talking about living with your father and your mother, who are both people of service, and then you go to Haiti, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I'm being called to do this thing, and that's what inspires me. And I know you're fully doing that, and I feel like I'm doing that now as well. And so it's a wonderful thing. But is there any last things about that you'd like to share? Because
I think what I like to tell my students, and I'll probably have a little intern motivation session at lunch today, whether they want it or not, because it's like the second to the last week where they all leave. We were only supposed to have 2, but 2 came and shadowed and said, can we stay? Like, you can stay. So I think I want to remind people there's no magic wand. There's no magic wand. We have to create our lives. Everyone has different circumstances in their lives. I'm not talking here today about all the sadness that's been part of my life. Do I go there? Of course I do. I think it's really part of who you are. And I'm glad every experience happened to me, including 3 miscarriages in 1 year that then yielded Sam. So if I hadn't had those 3 miscarriages, we wouldn't have Sam. And when he was older, 18, he'd say, Mom, but you'd have others. And I'm like, no, I wanted you. And I do believe, I'm very spiritual. I believe in God. I believe that we have more life after this. And I'll see those little babies there. And you're Buddhism. So your belief might be they came back in a different spirit to someone else. I'm not sure.
You had miscarriages that I thought was a beautiful thing. Who knows if it's true, but that women who have these miscarriages are vessels for souls that need to come in for just a minute. They're trying to pass some dimension and they use your body to pass through. Hard on you, but it's a service to them.
No, never hard on me, because mentally I was so grateful. I didn't have, you have the physical depression, but like you don't have, like mentally I was like, no. Because my brother at the time was an OBGYN and he said, Gail, do you want me to tell you horror stories or help you feel sorry for yourself? I said, I'd like every horror story you have. But I say that because that's how I took it. It doesn't mean everyone else will. And mine were all within the first 12 weeks. That's a blessing. And I love your adage of they're passing through, but there were so many little things like that in my life, my husband's life, my dad and mom's life, our family's life. And if we stay there and we dwell in that, we're not going to be happy. But if we focus, today I'm walking before my sister called and I'm just looking at nature. I'm like, I'm not going to listen to anything. I'm just going to look around, and just see what's out there. So there is no magic wand. Everyone's going to find their place. You don't have to find your passion. Your passion's going to find you through everything that happens. These kids come out and they're like, oh, I don't like my job. It's not my passion. So my whole next semester at URI and Salve, and I'm starting at Western Connecticut State University this year, is going to be about your passion's going to find you. Get in the workplace and do a really good job. So if we go out and we do a great job at work and we do a great job in life and we look beyond ourselves to help other people, we're really going to be happy people. I guess I have lots of closing words, but we probably should stop there.
I absolutely love everything you just said. And I think that the title of your book, Your Someday Is Now, is this idea that there is only now. And I hope you all will go read it. There's some wonderful stories in it. I've read it. I was very inspired by it, which is why I always like talking to you, Gail, because you just have such wisdom from not only yourself, but from all the people that you've incorporated into your life, all these beautiful people, all these business associates, all of your sponsors, everything you're doing, your students, right? We learn from even our students.
One thing I do want to say is the book is not available on Amazon yet. Once I hit 50,000 in sales, I'll put it on Amazon. I'm getting it queued up to do that now. But the reason is they keep such a big percentage. And I wanted to garner as much money for charity. So we're at 46,000. We'll be at 50 soon by next year. Maybe January, I'll throw it up on Amazon.
So please send me where they can get it.
GailSpeaks.com, GAIL, GailSpeaks.com on my website.
All right, great. I'll put that on the bottom because you guys need to buy this book, not only to read it, but also it goes to charity. 100% of it goes to charity. Gail has done this again from her heart and through labor of love. And
I pay the printing. So I don't.
Yeah, you're an example of you put out abundance, you get abundance back. And I think that's just such a wonderful thing. So thank you, Gail, for being with us today. And I love you so much.
Love you too. And thank you.
Yeah, and we'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Thank you. We will.
Bye.